secured the largest ever increase in funding for physical security for nonprofits, including synagogues, Jewish community centers, Jewish day schools. And in May, we released the first ever national strategy to counter anti-Semitism with the input from many of you in this room. Many of you in this room helped write that. It's the most ambitious, comprehensive effort to combat anti-Semitism in American history, in all of American history. And we're aggressively implementing it.
Folks, the Biden administration has announced that the next steps it will take to provide financial relief this year. Billions of dollars have been approved to put towards this aid, and the news comes as the United States faces another shutdown possibility next month as well. But so far, everybody, some big news is happening all across the country, and here it is. Here is what you need to know right now. A big day for Social Security recipients here. The federal government is expected to release important information on the current state of the economy. It will dictate how much Social Security monthly benefits are going to be increased or decreased starting next year as well. It will affect other major relief programs, and seniors on Social Security were surprised at the start when their benefits rose 8%. The cost of adjustment was the largest one to arrive in decades, and it was spurred by the rampant inflation that plagued consumers throughout 2022. At this point, Social Security recipients are likely to know what's going to happen next year for your COLA. Upon receiving this information, the Social Security Administration can compute the COLA for 2024. It is clear that 2024 Social Security COLA won't come close to the raise seniors received at the start of this year, but historically speaking, it's not too low for an adjustment. Rather, it's that seniors in most recent point of comparison. It's important to note that COLAs are pegged to inflation. It's also not common for Medicare Part B premiums to even talk about this, because since 2002, Medicare Part B premiums have risen more than 6% in 9 years. Experts say don't be surprised if there's an even big hike next well. And also the Medicare Trustees Report projected that actually Part B premiums would rise $10 a month over Medicare's announced drug that will cover Alzheimer's. The makers of the prescription have set a price tag for the price to be $26,000 a year for treatment. Non-profit health policies, researchers think that the prescription become the third most expensive covered by Medicare. But also on Wednesday, the Education Department announced $9 billion of relief for 125,000 borrowers who have made the required amount of payments in income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. The Education Secretary told Insider that the borrowers who don't qualify for the latest round should really get some help, because according to the Federal Student Aid, the Education Department will continue evaluating borrowers' accounts every 2 months to determine who has met the threshold for relief. So people should get relief right now, shouldn't they? Fund for tomorrow, aimed at helping the low-income Americans affected by this crisis. And county officials said more than 2,000 families meet eligibility can potentially receive $4,000 checks. Applicants will be required to provide proof of qualifications. Selections will be made at random. If chosen, those picked will have the money transferred into their bank. And when it comes to the government programs, many lawmakers disagree. Federal student loan borrowers are facing a consequential year ahead. By the end of June, the Supreme Court is expected to issue a final decision on whether the president plans to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for federal borrowers. Making up to $125,000 is illegal.
Let me close with this. We're a serious moment in our nation history, and it's not I mean it from the bottom of my heart. As I said last week, we remain in the battle for the soul of America. By the way, all right, God love you. Let him go. Let him go. No.
Breaking news. New information has been released on Social Security. The Biden administration and lawmakers are working together on Social Security reform. In just a few days, checks worth up to $1,700 will be sent out to eligible seniors. And now, supplemental security income beneficiaries will get 2 checks in September for a maximum sum of $1,700. But the second check is no reason to celebrate, as it's not extra money. In months where bank or holidays occur, that pushes up the distribution date for payments. In October, SSI beneficiaries will get no payment. The maximum check is $841 in 2022 for eligible individuals for this federal program, which provides support to disabled, blind, and elderly people who have little to no income. The average monthly benefit is $624. Managing money for the 8 million beneficiaries who rely on SSI benefits can be difficult. That's because they face strict asset and income rules, many of which have not been updated since the program was created in 1972. According to research, most of the program's beneficiaries are within 150% of the federal poverty level. Because some states may supplement SSI, that may help some beneficiaries get above the federal poverty line. According to Richard Johnson, SSI just provides a bare bones support for older people and people with disabilities, and it really highlights how little support we provide for most valuable Americans. SSI benefits are long overdue, scheduled to have their benefits by the month of July by Friday. Now, the next round of SNAP payments will also begin on August 10th. The state of Texas will complete issuing SNAP benefits worth up to $1,700 for a month of July this week. Texas has a long window for issuing payments, lasting through the first 10 days in a month. Even the amount received depends on one family size. A single household will receive $281, and an 8-member household will receive $1,700. But on a federal level, some House representatives want to expand the number of food stamp recipients subject to work requirements and time-limited food benefits. By raising the age of people, members are writing the bill against the backdrop of extraordinary uncertainty in the economy and inflation, including the cost of food is so high that the Federal Reserve is willing to risk a recession to slow the prices down. Economic disruptions are caused by the crisis in the robust labor market is expected to weaken in the months ahead. The past week, Democrats of the Department of Education announced that it will begin discharging student loan debts for borrowers who've been in repayment for 20 to 25 years under a one-time payment. Around 800,000 borrowers will benefit from this, and there will be $39 billion dropped. Joe Biden said the previous announcement is a one-time adjustment and will become an even more important lifeline for struggling borrowers than repayments start in September. The one-time payment adjustment the Education Department had counts certain months that were previously ineligible towards student loan forgiveness. But now, everybody, the Education Department announced a one-time payment adjustment for all direct loans and federally owned family education loans. Now, the adjustment to student loan accounts will go toward helping borrowers get closer to forgiveness under the income-driven plans. And after this adjustment, people should be getting stimulus payments because the one-time payment adjustment helps to reverse some of the damage caused by loan services that did not properly track deferments or steer borrowers to forbearance, instead of income-driven toward repayment payments, which would have continued toward years of payments. Some borrowers in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program have already seen the payment adjustments in their accounts, so we know that's a good thing.
The worsening climate crisis has wrought destruction across the country, and Oregon is not immune from that devastation. Every year, our wildfire season becomes more severe. In fact, right now, there are 19 active wildfires in Oregon alone, burning thousands of acres, threatening properties, and upending daily life for hundreds of Oregonians. Yet, as the risk of wildfire has grown, our wildland firefighting capacity has fallen far behind. And that's where the Civilian Conservation Center Enhancement Act comes in. This bill will actually cut through the red tape to ensure the Forest Service can hire brave Americans who are ready, willing, and able to battle these blazes. I thank my colleagues.
A spokesperson for the Department of Education told CNN the Department of Education will begin beta testing the Student Debt Relief website. During the beta testing website period, borrowers will not be able to submit applications